Hi everyone. So this is the IELTS switch recording for the IELTS writing task 1. So this is the question that is given. The graph below gives the information about international tourist arrivals in 5 countries. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons wherever relevant. Okay, so this is the graph. On x-axis you have the years 95 to 2010. On the y-axis you have the percentage of international, sorry, now on y-axis you have the international tourist arrivals in millions. So you have Brazil, Egypt, Malaysia, France and USA, and that is in 5 countries. Tourist arrivals in 5 countries. So how many tourists arrived in each country? So this is the essay written by the student. The graph illustrates the comparison between various countries: Brazil, Egypt, Malaysia, France, and USA. Yes, on the basis of international tourist arrival from 1995 to 2010. Very good. Overall, it is evident that the highest number of visitors arrived at France and USA. Overall, it is evident that the highest number of visitors arrived at France and USA, whereas less number of visitors arrived at, I am hoping this is an at Brazil and Egypt during this period. Okay, good, good enough summation. To inaugurate with, in 1995, around 70 million tourists arrived at USA. Okay. Over the 5 years, the figure got increased. No, the figure increased, did not get increased. The figure increased. The figure increased to 80 million. Subsequently, the trend increased and reached to its peak approximately at 85 million when? When? In 2005, right? You have to say that it reached its peak in 2005. Although in 2005 the pattern started declining, or you can say hereafter the pattern started declining from 85 million to 80 million in by 2010, not in 2010, by 2010. Likewise, France was second most popular arrival place for tourists. It started from 30 million, yes, 30 million in 1995 to 60 million in 2000, which showed a sharp rise, or you can say it showed a sharp rise from 30 million to 6 in 1995 to 60 million in 2000. From 2000 to 2005, the pattern had a steady growth, but in 2010, the trend faced rise. I'm expecting up to 80 million. Okay. It shows that in 2010, the number of tourists arriving at US and France was almost same. You cannot say that arrived. Number of tourists arrived. You say it shows that in 2010 the number of tourists that arrived or arriving at US. So either put a that over here or use this as arriving. On the other hand, the number of tourists visiting Malaysia rose steadily over the period, but by 2010 the total was still under 50 million. Okay, very good. You should specify where it started from. It started from 20 million and reached up to 30, 50 million. Okay. And wait a minute. Yes. The countries with the fewest tourist arrivals were Brazil and Egypt. The number of tourists going there was similar between 1995 to 2000. Yes. But there was a marginal increase in the tourists going to Egypt than to Brazil. So there should be a marginal increase in. Okay. So yeah, that sums up about everything of it. There are very few grammatical mistakes. You have used quite a good vocabulary wherein you have used a sharp rise, a steady rise, uh, rising pattern. You have used all kind of vocabulary that you can use for line graph. There are a couple of grammatical mistakes which need to be rectified. Overall, this was a good essay and a couple of things were missing. A couple of numbers were missing which you can rectify later. Okay. So please take care of summarizing all the information, of not leaving out anything. That will lose your points. Thank you.